Being Black is being proud of your dark skin.
Constantly criticized.
Black is a community to me. It's having people to relate to and to be with and to share with. And my dad has always told me that we have to stick together. And so to me, Black is really just a community that I belong to.
Being Black is having a community and being able to share my culture with others and making history out in the world.
Being Black is being powerful. Sometimes it's being uncomfortable in knowing that you are sticking out, and not always for a bad reason, but just to know that you are different from the rest.
Hopeful, rejoicing, free.
It's to rise from oppression and use it for good.
To be Black is to feel empowered, to feel empowered. I feel a lot of power being Black.
Why did you make me Black, Lord? Lord, why did you make me Black? Why did you make someone the world would hold back? Black is the color of dirty clothes, of grimy hands and feet. Black is the color of darkness, of tired, beaten streets. Why did you give me thick lips, a broad nose and kinky hair? Why did you create someone who receives the hatred stare? Black is the color of the bruised eye when someone gets hurt. Black is the color of darkness. Black is the color of dirt. Why is my bone structure so thick? My hips and cheeks so high? Why are my eyes brown and not the color of the sky? Why do people think I'm useless? How come I feel so used? Why do people see my skin and think I should be abused? Lord, I just don't understand. What is it about my skin? Why is it some people want to hate me and not know the person within? Black is what people label when others want to keep them away. Black is the color of shadows cast. Black is the end of the day. Lord, you know my own people mistreat me, and you know that just ain't right. They don't like my hair. They don't like my skin. As they say, I'm too dark or too light. Lord, don't you think it's time to make a change? Why don't you redo creation and make everyone the same? God's reply, why did I make you Black? Why did I make you Black? I made you in the color of coal from which beautiful diamonds are formed. I made you in the color of oil, the black gold which keeps people warm. Your color is same as the rich dark soil that grows the food you need. Your color is the same as the black stallion and panther. Oh, a majestic creature indeed. All colors of the heavenly rainbow can be found throughout every nation. When all these colors are blended, you become my greatest creation. The reflection you see in the mirror, the image that looks back, that is mine. So get off your knees, look in the mirror, and tell me what you see. I didn't make you in the image of darkness. I made you in the image of me.
Ever since I was little, having to basically be hyper aware that I am a woman and that I have to hide my sexuality, that I have to make sure that I have to make other people comfortable and make men comfortable by making sure I wear certain clothes or making sure I walk a certain way. Simple things as hearing like those shorts are too short or you're around men or whatever the case may be kind of made me very much aware that that I can't be comfortable in myself, that I can't enjoy the things that other girls get to enjoy. Little black girls have to grow up really fast because society tells them that they are too curvy, that, you know, they're these hypersexual people, that they make other people uncomfortable.
My name is exotic, or that's all you heard when I told you my name was Nubian. My body transformed into a tropical paradise for your lingering eyes as I stood there in my blue jeans. The look in your eyes was all too familiar.
I got the same one from the pastor's son when I was 13.
And again from my boss when I turned 15.
From there, it never stopped.
The eyes never closed. My confidence never rose. Mama warned me what would happen. She told me every day.
Cover up.
Fix your shirt.
Pull down your shorts. They're riding up your ass.
That dress is too short.
Too tight.
Too bright.
You look grown.
Don't be fast. Try to make your youth last. Did you hear me? Cover up. There are men in the house. I remember the joy I felt when my mother told me I could finally wear a bra. She slipped into my dresser one Saturday night, and I found it as I got ready for church the next morning. I finally felt like a woman. I glowed as my mother sat me between her legs and braided my hair, while my stepfather and brother sat on the couch mindlessly watching cartoons before we all made our way to the Lord's house. I never understood why my brother couldn't just mind his business. It was summer and I wanted to wear my favorite spaghetti strap bra with the dress.
Mama told me I had to always wear it with a cardigan so I didn't look too grown.
But it was so hot and I thought she would mind because we were just going to church.
My brother had a field day.
He laughed and laughed because he thought it was so funny, but eventually it started to hurt.
Stop! No! Why are you wearing a bra anyway? You're still flat-chested.
Leave me alone! He wouldn't stop snapping the stupid bra straps. When my mama came down and saw what was happening, she let all hell loose, but not on my brother. I was supposed to be wearing a cover over the dress. You're not grown, Nubian. Why are you letting people play with your bra strap? I told him to stop. I told you that dress is too short for you to wear to church. Take you fast behind upstairs and change. There are men in the house. I tried not to cry on the way to worship, but I think I let a few slip. I always wondered why I had to change my attire when men came into the house.
Or why a simple hairstyle deemed me as trying to be fast.
I never understood why my friends didn't get stopped in the hallway for dress code, but they never failed to send me to the office. Or why my assets were always the topic of the discussion, despite my inability to stop growing.
Do all your kids have the same dad?
Why does she look so manly?
Why are you so eager to show off your curves?
Why is it that my confidence in my body angers so many people? And how come my marital status, or if all my kids share a last name, determines if I should be respected? And why is it that my muscular figure makes people wonder if I'm feminine enough?
I'm a 7-year-old black girl.
I'm a 15-year-old black girl. I'm a 27-year-old black woman.
Why can I enjoy my childhood?
Why can't I be like the other girls? Why can't I just be a woman? Why can't we live? I am a black woman. The music of my song, some sweet arpeggio of tears, is written in a minor key, and I can be heard humming in the night. Something of old forgotten queens lurks in the lithe abandon of your walk, and something of shackled slave sobs in the rhythm of your talk. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I'll rise.
My black triangles sandwiched between the geography of my thighs, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave me. My black triangle has spread beyond his story, beyond the fears of patriarchy. The fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. Proud of every bit of ourselves, from our tiger stripes to the soft flesh of our thighs. The swing of our hips does not determine our destiny. My black triangle is so rich that it flows over onto the dry crotch of the world. Respect my hips and my thighs as you respect your fragile pride. Teach those who follow in your footsteps to come correct and make room. To clear space for me to grow, know the names of the family that is planted here. Right here inside somewhere where they are waiting to emerge like sunflowers.
Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weaker by my soulful cries. I love you for the breaking sadness in your voice, and shadows where your wayward eyelids rest, and let your full lips laugh at fate. My black triangle carries the seal of approval of my deepest self.
My nature is to nurture. My words thick with passion, draw you in and let you grow, just as my grandmother did before me. Hands crisscrossing braids telling stories of battles lost but wars won. My energy is daring, strength embodied with large hips, thick lips, telling you about yourself with every intention to let you plead. Tell me what you see, blinding white light, radiating warmth and love and hope. People have come to turn down the rays, but our future remains just as vibrant. We are bold, coffee-colored grounds good enough for everyone to drink. We are the air, the moon, the stars, the enchantress of your every dream. There is no you without me. This isn't a device one might use to attend the suburban garden. Its unremarkable flora, drying freshly damp wisteria with black silk, or the much more common cotton blend, I could see, dew-red. Alas, old friend, you somehow make me even more opaque. Me mystery, criminal, dope boy by the corner of Moncrief, compelling respectable women to reach smartphones, call for backup, smooth adjustable shadow like policy or fire, you blacken everything. Sisters in head wraps, royal African queens, strolling by envious eyes in urban scenes. Oh, little brown girl, born for sorrow's mate, keep all you have queenliness, forgetting that you were once a slave.
To them you are a fetish. Look at my black friend. To them you are a fetish. Token. My trophy.
You're pretty for a black girl.
Look at my black friend. My token.
Why are you being so pretty for a black girl?
Is that your real hair? You are a fetish.
You're pretty for a black girl.
So loud.
Is that your real hair?
Why are you being so loud?
Is that your real hair?
Girl, stop apologizing for being black.
Stop apologizing for being full. You don't have to see it or believe it, but I am.
I am.
Magic.
Of all the things that are happening. I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of people who don't care enough. And I'm not saying everyone has to go out and be on the front line, but if everyone was working toward a similar goal, because of course everyone's goals aren't going to be identical, but if everyone was working towards the same thing, then things would be a lot clearer at least, and we could have some kind of game plan in order to make change. I think there needs to be change, and I think there needs to be people who care enough to make the change. And by people, I mean everyone. I need everyone to care enough to make the change.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing standing on the side when you're checking out. Say your style of life's a drag, and you gotta go other places. Just don't feel too bad when you get fooled by smiling faces. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, baby. Cause I'll be standing on the side when you're checking out. When you get off the trip, a thing. Don't you worry about a thing. Everybody needs a chance to take on the new. You're the only one who sees the chances you take yourself through. About a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, yeah. Don't you worry about a thing. Pop, 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 don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, baby, yeah. Cause I'll be standing on the side when you're checking out. When you get off the trip, a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, baby. Yeah, cause I'll be standing beside when you're checking out. A thing, about a thing. Cause I'll be standing for you. Oh.
I hope everyone can learn to love in my lifetime, to love for something, because there are people that I think have like want and need for things mixed up with a love for things and a love for life and a love for living. And once you find your love for something, you can see that in everything else, and that makes you a better person. And I think that would make the biggest difference if everyone before my lifetime is over can learn to love.
Well, it is a beautiful day. You're so fresh, clear. Well, I wouldn't say fresh, but my sinuses have been acting up, and there's this pain in my back and my shoulders, and it's been there for a long time, but I think... Hi, sorry I didn't see you. Nice to meet you. So in case you hadn't noticed, I'm black.
And I'm white.
And I am proud to be black.
And I'm...
There are so many things my people have done for me to be proud of. Some you may know of, and some you may not.
And there's so many things that my people have done to be proud of too, but you've heard all about it.
And I'm not saying I'm proud to be black to offend you.
And I'm not offended. How's the air, by the way?
A little better.
But not fresh?
Not fresh. And I'm not saying you can't be proud to be white. I don't say it because I think I'm better than you.
And I'm not offended because I know that to be true.
I say it because my people went and go through so much to be great in America.
And I don't say it because my people are known as what's great in America.
I I say it because when I was younger, I didn't see a lot of people who looked like me put in the best light.
When I was younger, all I saw was people who looked like me in the best light. In magazines, books, on TV. And so it's no question what I can or should be proud of.
And I have no issue with those things.
The issue comes when you, yes, you, ridicule a black person for being proud of who they are or shout, "White power!" solely as a way to diminish the black community.
Because throughout the rest of the year, you don't say that you're proud to be white. You don't have to specify.
There's no need to specify. How's the ear, by the way?
A little better, but I feel this pressure on my neck.
We'll get you checked out later.
Okay. So if my pride offends you, maybe you should think about why.
Is it because you don't want to give up your position of power way up here, even though the ladder that you climbed to get here
was my back?
Or is it because you want to remain on your platform of white supremacy, even though the thing that's supporting you
is my shoulders, and you're afraid of me speaking with my whole chest?
Or is it because you know that if she, he, they realize all that they're capable of, you won't have to lift your foot yourself. She'll take her own 2 hands
and rip it off my neck
and can finally breathe.
A breath of fresh air.
How's the ear now?
Yeah, a little better.
But not fresh?
Not fresh, but I think it's getting there.
I feel like what's happening in America right now is most definitely a wake-up call for a lot of people. To black people, I feel like this isn't anything new that we haven't seen. We've seen this happen many times. Trayvon Martin, we were 11 years old when we seen that. So to be that young and to see that so early, it made us have to grow up really quickly and see the reality of what it is to be black in America. But also in the same sense, I see a lot of people coming together now. A lot of people of different backgrounds, a lot of different black people, and non-black people are also coming together and seeing what the problems that we have in America now. And I feel like we're becoming stronger, but we also still have a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of ignorance, there's still a lot of bigotry that needs to be handled.
I have a lot of black men in my life. I think freedom is knowing at the end of the day, I can feel comfortable with them going out. I have a little brother. He went out to go play basketball the other day, and I didn't even feel comfortable with him being out there by himself, so I just sat out there making sure he was okay.
Being a black mother in America is different from anywhere else in the world. As I grew older and became a mother myself, I didn't feel too much threatened about my daughters. But for my stepson, especially when one of my stepsons came to live with me, it was a thing that I have to tell him every day when he's going out or when he wants to go out with his friends. Back in the 90s when they were driving around, like young black boys would be driving around 4 or 5 in a car here in Jacksonville, I know for a fact that they would be pulled over and their face would be crushed into the concrete. I've seen it so many times. So whenever my stepson would be going out with his friends, my heart was always racing. And even at one point he was very angry with me because he couldn't go out with his sons because curfew time was at 9 o'clock to be back in the house, because I know after 10 o'clock what could happen out there, even 6 o'clock or whatever, you know. So I've always told him when the police stops him, don't argue with the police officer because that's going to cause his death, or make sure that his hands are up and don't make any funny move. Just stay there with his hands on his car wheel or his hands up until the police officer clears him, but do not ever argue with the police officer, because it's been a thing that other people might not see, but the black mothers see it all the time. And I just came to America, which was about maybe 6 or 7 years living into America, and I've already seen it, so I have to always caution them.
Shots fired by the police. We got shots fired, shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired by the police. We got shots fired. Get an ambulance over here. We got,
This is a sickness that has infected the country. Unchecked and unfettered gun violence.
We begin tonight with one of the biggest nationwide days of protest since the killing of George Floyd in police custody.
The crime tape, evidence markers, and bullet-riddled cars. It is a scene that we have witnessed again and again.
We have talked about it, we have prayed about it, but it just continues to happen. Black people continue to hurt black people.
New developments in 2 high-profile racially charged police shootings. They involve the deaths of 2 black men in separate incidents.
no peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
He says young African American men are all too often at the center of crime.
Every single one of us is just playing.
We've got to
the
stop
odds.
glamorizing violence. We've got to stop romanticizing the fact that if you commit a crime or if you carry a gun, that makes you a man. That doesn't make you a man.
God bless America.
Oh, brother, it's still a mystery.
Did you hear my cry? Did you hear my plea?
I'll never know.
I'll never know
How it feels.
how it feels,
How it feels.
how it feels, oh, how it feels, how it feels to be free.
Enough is enough.
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 Say it loud. Say it proud. Hands up.
Guns down.
When the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory,
Glory, glory,
oh, glory, glory. Now the war is not over, victory isn't won, but we'll fight on to the finish. And then when it's all done, we'll cry glory,
glory,
oh glory,
glory, oh, glory, glory,
we'll cry glory,
glory,
oh glory,
glory, oh, glory, glory.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory,
Glory, glory,
oh, glory,
glory,
oh, glory,
glory,
glory, oh, glory, 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 oh, glory, glory.
The transition was kind of hard. My first 5 years I was homesick because what I saw in America wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit better. To see some of the things that happen here, and the opportunities are here, don't get me wrong, opportunities galore here, better than where I've come from, but at the same time, to see the underlining behavior every day is atrocious. And the first time I have encountered racism or prejudice, so to speak, I finished a course at FCCJ, at the time FCCJ, and I stepped into a law office downtown Jacksonville to ask for an interview. And the young lady, because it was a white lady, young white girl, looked at me, and from the moment she realized that I was black, she went into the back and she never came back into the front office. And I was just standing there not knowing, and I was just waiting until maybe after an hour or so, I realized that, this is what prejudice is. Because I don't know prejudice in my country. We, out of many one people, we have all different races and nationalities in our country, so in the island. So I'd never seen it before, so I was frightened, and I've seen it in the workplace, I've seen it in school, I've seen it, all around. But again, when you say to authority, they just brush you aside like, oh no, you're just crying, black, you're just crying. So nobody ever listens to you.
So I've been told we can't talk about the African American experience in the classroom, in front of my teachers, in front of my classmates, because I sound more like Tony and Singh and less like Rosa Parks. So while performing yet another black poem, this little white gal came up to me and she said, excuse me, do you identify yourself as African American or Jamaican? Because I feel like, well, on there, pause, stick a pen right there, sir. You don't get to feel any type of way about my blackness as if this black has been transferred like it was never conquered. So I've been told I can't talk about the African American experience because I sound more like Bob Marley and less like her. So while performing yet another black poem, this little black boy came up to me and he said, what do you know about chains, whips, and bullets? So while basking in my rage and in need of some damn answers, I decided to take the slave ship all the way back to 1332. Oh, pirates, yes, they robbed by, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pits. But my hands were made strong by the hands of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs. So while sailing in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, ancestral ghosts call my name from deep, deep down in the ocean just to cast a protection spell over me so I can make it safely to the West African coast. And when I arrived, I saw Mansa Musa, king of the Mali Empire, and I asked him, am I black enough? And he said my blackness is thicker than blood. And then he shipped me to 1892 to see Yashantu, a queen mother of the Ajishu Ashanti tribe. And I asked her, am I black enough? And she said my blackness is thicker than blood. And then she shipped me to 1962 to see Sir Alexander Bustamante. And I asked him, am I black enough? And he said my blackness is my pride and my joy, so don't you tell me I can't talk about African American issues in America. When 23-year-old Amadou Dilio was shot and killed 41 times by the New York police officer, they weren't shooting at his accent, they were shooting at his blackness. When my teacher called me the N-word in the classroom, they weren't fact-checking that my great-great-great-great-grandmother was a slave. The skin makes me inferior. The skin is prey for the dogs, regardless of which side of the park you get your training from. So in our blackness, and in your blackness, and in your blackness, I bind us
us. I bind us. Midiin wusu naya minitsa. It is our ancestors' dying wish.
I remember going in like my 9th grade year and I was like, I'm gonna be on Broadway. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, this is gonna be the rest of my life. This is it right here. My first show I auditioned for was Parade, unfortunately. I remember getting my song and I was like, I mean, I have to sing this song about lynching black people. I have to sing this. I have no choice. I'm a little 9th grader. If I say something, what does the rest of my high school career look like? So I remember receiving that song and I remember thinking, this is all there is for me in the theater world. I can only play a slave or a maid, or like, I'm never gonna be a lead. This is just so pointless. So I started to believe that more and more, and I started thinking of careers where I could actually become successful, because I felt like I never got a chance to really experience what that feels like, to be in the spotlight. I never got that.
Swishy, swishy goes the broom as we sweep across the room. Swish, the crumbs will disappear. Brush them up, the floor is clear.
I just think it's funny how whenever there is a serious issue and it's reported to the administrators, they make it seem like nothing ever happened. It's crazy how as students we're in a historically black school, but people don't give it enough respect, and I'm tired of it. I have never thought in my life I would experience such cruelty during my freshman year. Being called a monkey and having a hose pointing at me and my friends is not a fun experience. But like always, administration would act dumbfounded.
I found that the speech used to critique black students was often comparison driven and always felt like black students were all being critiqued into this one stereotype of a musical theater black actor, which was so disturbing. I remember always being so disturbed when two black men were compared to each other when they were different as they could possibly be. Yet, they felt pressured to compete to be each other's type because they were constantly compared. I witnessed flamboyant white men praised for being different when flamboyant black men were shamed for not being manly enough to play any of the black roles from the shows we were given.
I'll say this and I'll say it once. Douglas Anderson was originally a black school. No one acknowledges that, nor do they appreciate it. Instead, they throw it under the rug. They tell us to audition in the theater department only for us to be turned down year after year and show after show. Keep in mind there are never any main black characters, and any time that we have more than 3 people in one show is during Black Art, which is sad because that is the only time the spotlight is given to us. Douglas Anderson definitely needs to do better and recognize where they started.
There was an incident where a teacher said to 2 students he understood being black because he had been shot at before. When they were meeting with him about other students, racist comments, and if I remember correct, nothing happened in response to the student.
The worst part is they claim to be an inclusive and diverse environment, and yet they don't realize they're reinforcing the systemic racism prevalent within the program when they refuse to create opportunities for our POC actors, whether that's by refusing to cast them or not choosing stories that POC can play. We have had so much POC talent come through our program these past few years. We literally had a national theater competition winner who was black, and the first time she was represented in a production was her senior year in the ensemble.
Dr. Richmond Wynn from the UNF Counseling Center spoke on racial trauma in a discussion on racial injustice. I'll be reading his quotes from the seminar. One thing that's important to note is that the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual does not allow for a formal diagnosis of PTSD due to experiences of discrimination or racism. Decades ago, researchers started talking about the fact that exposure to discrimination, exposure to racism in particular, resulted in people experiencing very similar, if not exactly the same symptoms that are laid out in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Diagnosing PTSD. There's quite a bit of research that shows people reporting experiencing some of the following symptoms from racist events that they both have been exposed to directly and from what we call vicarious exposure. Dr. Wynn explained, that is when the person themselves hasn't personally had the experience, but someone that's very close to them, someone they know, or people who look like them. Here are some of the symptoms that people who have been victims of discrimination can experience, whether they witnessed it or identify with the people who have experienced it. Stressors include exposure to trauma, intense feelings of distress when reminded by a traumatic event, and extreme physical reactions to reminders of trauma. That could be nausea, sweating, increased heart rate, or having or experiencing invasive or upsetting memories of the experiences. For some, it's difficult to identify where these symptoms are coming from because they're not related to a car accident or things like that. So it might be hard for some people to recognize that they're actually experiencing traumatic stress, said Dr. Wynn. These symptoms continue. People experience nightmares, loss of interest in life's daily activities, other difficulty sleeping, feeling emotionally numb and detached, having a sense of not leading a normal life, having difficulty with positivity and optimistic outlets, avoidance, which includes avoiding any activities, feelings, thoughts, places that remind you of the traumatic experience, and finally, memory impairment. Dr. Wynn also says that change in reactivity could include increased aggression, irritability, hypervigilance and hyperawareness, heightened startle response, which is anxiety, which can also lead to depression and other problems, poor coping skills, substance abuse, and disordered eating, and finally, engaging in risky and destructive behavior. Stress can have a devastating impact on our system, our functioning, and our ability to make rational decisions. While people are going to be held accountable for their own actions, I just think that it's important, for context, to consider what other factors might be contributing to these decisions. Researchers have said, even though the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual does not allow us to make a formal diagnosis of PTSD based on racism, people were reporting all of those same symptoms. Despite the fact that we can't make a formal diagnosis with that cause, we can certainly treat them in the way and approach them in the same way that we would of someone who has PTSD. Let's tune into the systems that have not shifted or changed, or in fact maybe have gotten worse. The system of marginalization, the system of privilege, and the system that would have certain people be on the in-group and others be on the out-group simply because of one characteristic of who they are that has nothing to do with their character, concluded Dr. Wynn. Racial trauma has a growing presence in many colored homes. We share this information not only to highlight the need for treatment amongst affected individuals, but to inform those who constantly face racial injustice and let them know that they are not going insane and that there's a mental toll to the racism that they face. With that being said, I encourage everyone to take a while to make sure that they are really okay, because it's okay not to be.
I feel like mental health gets swept under the rug a lot within our community, as far as it doesn't get talked about, or you're deemed as crazy, or that you need to build a stronger relationship with your religion, whatever that may be. I feel like that comes from a long history of us not really being seen as people, and that our problems aren't actual problems. So it's been put onto us, which goes down generations, to make people think that mental health isn't a big issue, or even parents simply telling their kids that you're too young to have to deal with all these problems, that you really don't go through anything because you're so young, when there are Black kids every day that struggle with mental health issues, and that they never get them resolved, so they end up growing up and not really realizing that they do have some problems that haven't gotten resolved, and that goes on to the next generation. But I see with our generation right now, we are starting to realize that there is a problem with mental health going on within the Black community that needs to be addressed. Anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, all that stuff. It needs to most definitely be talked about and resolved, and I'm glad that we're starting to have that conversation now, where Black people are being more comfortable saying, hey, I don't feel okay. and other black people saying that's okay, and we're going to get you the help that you need, because we deserve that mental health as much as everybody else does.
Anxiety. We were in the car when the cop car pulled up right behind us. My heart started beating a little bit faster. I immediately turned down the music just so I can accommodate the white man. I always have to think 10 steps ahead because it's either between life or death. So yes, I am anxious because whenever I walk into a room full of people, I have to look how many of us are in the environment. Anxiety in the black community is so overlooked. And when you see that little black girl or that little black boy walking home from school, they are extremely anxious because they have to be cautious of what they wear, like hoodies. So like people like George Zimmerman won't hurt them. So yes, I am anxious because whenever I walk out that door, I know there is a chance that I will never come home because of my skin color. Because I am inferior.
Depression.
Take a walk, you'll be fine.
Black people don't get depressed.
Stop being dramatic.
Don't you think if I could be happy, I would be? There's no sense in this feeling, this longing for anything but emptiness. But it's what I've got to work with. So I do. I talk like I'm happy. I make jokes like I'm happy. I'm the kindest person in the room. Anything to deter from discomfort. But at the end of the day, it all comes rushing back in. When I'm in my lows, everything hits just a little bit harder. The murders of my people playing on TV. Night after night, a new name circles around my head. Breonna Taylor, Tony McDade, Ahmaud Arbery, innocent people living innocent lives taken away by somebody's superiority complex. Don't tell me to smile when it feels like I'm suffocating on the blood in the air. Substance abuse disorder. Being black, living in an urban area where drinking is common and drugs are a getaway. Where I'm from, they don't call it a disorder. It's just a way of life. Living in a black home where hair is so thick and mouths are too slick. And the evil spirits placed in me since birth and the expectation to fail seems to all melt away by the substance. As a black woman, I'm told where I'm supposed to go, but never where how I'm supposed to cope. When I turn on the TV and I see people who look just like me, glorifying the highs of the street life, but never the lows. So the substance doesn't seem to be the problem. It just seems to be the fix-it.
Being black should not hinder me from getting help.
Don't call me weak, just hear me. When I tell you I need help, help me. Black families, we must listen to one another because this feeling of being broken is only a temporary condition.
And the word of today is, all right. As in, if God got us, then we gonna be all right. For example, epidemic plus pandemic equals the fight of our life. But not even the knees on our necks will make us lose our appetite. Hold on, wait. What about hardships? There's no such thing. Trials and tribulations. It's just another game that life likes to play, but somehow, some way, we still manage to say that we gonna be okay. So the question of today is, why are you so uptight? Like, can we please have one night without the color black being drenched with red and pronounced dead on sight?
Man, get right.
Because while you're trying to fight fire with fire, you're giving these conspiracy theorists what they strongly desire. But me, I'm on my Maya Angelou vibe. Like, you may write me down in history with your Twitter finger lies, but still, like the unborn sun, I rise. So no matter how tough the going may get,
You will never catch me lacking. You will never catch me slacking.
or slipping. And that's on what?
Period.
So I guess what we're trying to say here is that we gonna be alright, because whatever the enemy means for our bad,
God will use it for our good.
Understood?
Say it! We gon' be alright. Hey, all things work together for good. We gon' be alright. Tough getting brought me on, I knew it was. We gon' be alright. Hey, I ain't worried about it. Oh no. Don't you worry about it. Oh no. Hey, I believe I receive every word that he promised me. We gon' be alright. Oh Jesus. We gon' be alright. Hey, we believe ya. We gon' be alright. Look, battle isn't yours. This belongs to the Lord. Stand still, don't fight. We know that. We gon' be alright.
I'm so proud of you guys that you young people are just stepping up. All of you white and black stepping up, stepping in, Latino, whoever steps in to do whatever they need to do to make this world a better place, because it's you guys who are going to take this world on to the next level. I probably won't be here. I pray to God that this virus don't take me out, but you guys are the ones who are going to take this on, and I just give God thanks for you all. I'll continue to pray for black and white. Just pray for the world and pray for the world to be a better place. You know, like the song says, for the whole human race. You know, I just pray that you guys continue to be strong and continue doing the best that you can, and hope to see you guys grow up to be strong leaders of tomorrow. And I know you all will, because you're already showing that in your plays, in your school, and whatever you do in the community. I've already seen that, and I'm so proud of the young people out there marching and doing what they have to do to make sure that this world becomes a better place for all of us to live and grow and succeed.
Hold on tight and you will last. Keep your self-respect, your manly pride. Get yourself and keep your stride. Never mind your fears. Brighter days will be here. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free.
Freedom is when everyone can be equal and everyone can just be who they want to be without any judgment.
Freedom is really just being able to live the way you want without having any discrimination based off of your religion, your race.
To me, freedom is being who you want to be without having to worry about what others say or what others are going to do when they see you. It's being able to have your own beliefs, have your own shares and dreams.